They were like, okay, it's not going to be his voice because, as you said, like he's some guy from overseas who's, you know, gone to America to be a model of some kind. And they went, okay, he's really handsome, so that'll work for this. So let's do that. It can't work for the voiceover. We're going to stumble through that if we do. So let's just get some guys like, I'm a dog.
Love on the leash, everybody. Check it out, I guess. And you know what? I put the link in the description down below. And with this beautiful endorsement, hello and welcome everybody to the AWKWARDCast, ANY and Keyframe, one about random dribble. And today with us, the still image of Bill Newton. Hello, still image of Bill Newton.
Hi.
Oh my god, it talks.
You know
it does.
You know what's the best thing? You could probably just grab Bill Newton's image and shake it around as he talks.
Wait. I can do that.
Yeah, like the trumpet thing. That trumpet meme.
Say something.
Bill.
Hello, everybody.
Oh no, we need to, if we only planned this ahead, we could have just cut off the top of his head and he would talk like the Canadians from South.
I honestly was thinking about that for this, but then I was like, I'm not that talented and I don't know how to make that work. Or just like, but then I would also want to the entire time just be like, how you doing, everybody?
All right, Bill. I just want to say, we did it. We had an entire 1 hour podcast, the two of us plus our friend Kichi, with sock puppets. We went the entire podcast.
Our poor arms.
On April 1st, we were an hour under our table. It's like, oh, tennis arm, keep it up.
Right, yeah, you really get respect for like you know, the Henson Company. You just like, they must have some ripped forearms.
I guess so.
Tweet that specific podcast to the Muppets official Twitter. Anyway.
But yeah, welcome to the show, Bill.
Who are you?
Yes, in case the viewers are not directly familiar with you, or maybe are like, I have heard this voice before, but I don't know it. Who are you? What do you do? Why should people care?
Well, to answer the last question first, I don't know. Why not? I'm Bill Newton. I'm a voice actor, and I live currently in Vancouver, Canada. And I moved here to be a voice actor from Australia, where I'm originally from. And I'm on some shows, some anime like World Trigger, Gintama, Tobots, Beyblade Burst, and I'm on My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, as a number of characters. I just started a new show that I can't talk about except to say that I'm on a new show, and it's for Cartoon Network. It's gonna be great. So tune in like a year or a year and a half or whatever.
So I guess people keep their eyes peeled on your Twitter, because as soon as you're allowed, you will probably not shut up about it.
Tweet.
Yeah, like it's not like I keep any of the stuff I do a secret. So when like people go like, when's it gonna be out? I'll be like, if you follow anything I do, I will let you know.
You
won't be able to avoid it.
It'll be in between my Heroes of the Storm tweets and retweeting random stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will tweet it daily, and then I will retweet myself, because you're allowed to do that. I don't know why you're allowed to do that, but you can.
I'll pin it to my page and then pin it again, even though we'll just unpin it.
I'll pin it and unpin it so it shows up fresh.
Excellent plan.
But what's been going on in the past week of the life of Bill?
Or the recent life in general.
The recent life of Bill. Well, recent life in general, went to a couple of My Little Pony conventions, went to Everfree Northwest, and then went to High Roller Pony Con in Vegas, which were both fantastic. And then the last week or so, I've been recovering from High Roller Pony Con because it takes a lot out of me. And it was just a kind of a wild, fun, awesome weekend where I didn't have like, you know, crazy Vegas adventures. It was just really, really busy and fun and awesome. And then this week I've just been planning and preparing for some of the recording of the new scripts for the new show, which I can't talk about except for saying I'm on a new show. Plug.
Fair enough.
So yeah, it's just been sort of like busy catching back up to real life. I've only been to a few conventions, and I know that that you folks and plenty of the folks watching and listening have been to tons, and it's still new for me. So like the convention life is this weird like fantasy realm that you enter for a few days, and then you come back and you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I gotta change gears, like back down
the
to
world feels slower.
Yeah, to real life speed, and you're just like, and it's been a little bit that way for a few days, but But yeah, feeling a little bit more human. Almost there. Almost there.
So survived it well without corn cruds or anything?
No, I dodged the con crud. I dodged it this time.
Lucky,
I got it.
Lucky you.
I know. Well, no, not lucky. Very prudent and well prepared, Bill, because after BabsCon, I got it super bad. I got cold, which turned into like chest cold, which turned into bronchitis, which lasted like 6 weeks. All the time during that, like I had bookings, I had jobs to do, and I was like, oh yeah, you mean like throat and chest infections? They're exactly what I don't need as a voice actor.
So you remembered the important 631? 631?
621.
621. Oh, okay, we're on a diet, I see.
What's 621?
Oh, you don't know 621?
It's something that all cons advertise. Like it's just the it's
bare minimum of survival.
It's part of the unwritten scripture of cons, whether it be pony, furry, or anime, which is 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals a day, and 1 shower. You can guess which rule people ignore.
Well, it's only one, so it's just like I could probably skip it twice, right?
No, no. Let me tell you, as a vendor,
no, the
Bill.
one is. I was gonna say no. Well, let me tell you, as somebody who then also meets hundreds of people, who just go like, huh, this panel room.
Why does
kind
it
of
smell?
funky? So funky.
Yeah.
Or elevators, lots of elevators.
Ooh.
But yeah, no, okay, that makes total sense. 621, like absolutely. And you know what? That's actually kind of exactly what I ended up doing. You don't get 3 meals a day. Like that's out the window at a con. It's like if you're lucky, you get that morning meal. If you're very smart and you plan ahead, and then you're not going to really be able to eat anything, and then maybe one in the. I thought the 621 was like for every 6 people you meet, twice you hand sanitize, and like once you
you completely
drink orange juice.
No, it's like twice you sanitize your hands, and once you just go into a shower with scalding hot water and get rid of your whole epidermis.
Like a chemical bath, yeah. No, but I learned very important lessons after BabsCon and getting very, very sick. Was much more liberal with hand sanitizing, but also just like before the con and during the con, lots of vitamins and trying to, and this will be crazy, trying to eat decent meals and like boost my immune system potentially. Crazy, right?
Yeah, I really hope you didn't eat at that sushi place that was across the street from BabsCon, because that's how I got food poisoning.
Oh, well, I may have.
Lucky.
And I didn't get food poisoning, but I got real sick. You know what? Let's blame it on the sushi place.
Sounds about right.
Yes.
Everybody blames the sushi. But yeah.
Well, it was so cute. It was called I Love Sushi. We couldn't avoid it. It was like, I want to go.
Okay. But tell us, what is going on in your life recently, or last week actually? You have been here last week. You have no excuse to talk about anything further back, which I will do in my last week.
So my week in good old Berlin. I love being here. Yep.
You continue talking.
Oh, okay. Okay. Anyway, my week in Berlin. I've gotten to the point now, because I visited here so much, I know where everything is. So I just mindlessly walk places or take the train. And I visited new food places because I keep going out to lunch with him and his work buddies. He was just kind of like, hey, Chrissy, do you want to go get lunch with us so you're not cooped up in the apartment all day? And I'm like, sure. And it was like 90% of the time it was an Indian place, because our friend Yuri is obsessed with this place.
They have those deep fried eatable airbags. That's how I see them. I mean, they deflate instantly, but they come as a giant ball.
Think of them as like savory funnel cake. That's the best way I could put it for us normies. But
Are you talking about poppadoms?
Yes.
Yeah, it's slightly different the name, batao or something.
Something like
that.
Oh,
okay.
But either way, that was something. I made friends with a lot of homeless people. Now here's a fun anecdote. There's homeless people in Berlin, because like any city, and there's this one lady that keeps staying in the subway area that's by here, and I was like, "Are you hungry?" And because I don't like to give them money, I give them food, and she was very appreciative. And then one day I was coming back from going to lunch with them, and she was at a vending machine in the subway, and she waved me over, and I'm like, okay, this is my life now. And she gave me a Kit Kat bar from the vending machine, and I'm like,
Aw.
I know, I was like, aw, but you're homeless. Don't you need this more than I?
Oh, but that's a sweet gesture.
Oh no,
Absolutely.
it was sweet. I'm not going to deny that, but that was really nice. And then there was another homeless guy who had a dog, so I got the dog a bottle of water with a cup, and the guy a Sprite, and we had like a 15-minute conversation. The guy spoke better English than people in the stores. Yeah, but that was.
I'm not proud of my people.
That was interesting. And then besides that, it's just the general stuff of hanging out with this loser and
Hey, what?
You know, watching stuff, playing Heroes on a MacBook, which is the worst experience of my goddamn life. You
will just be happy. It's my attempt to make you feel good at home once you're back at home again, because then you have your good computer and are like, playing Heroes with an actual keyboard.
There's nothing wrong with the keyboard. It's the Apple mouse. The Apple mouse sucks.
Oh yeah, no, you just have to get a wired mouse. Like I gave up on them and their fancy space mouse, and I was like, no, this is a gimmick, and I just want a wired mouse. Just give me my wired mouse.
Here's the annoying part, because I have the great new MacBook Pro, and because Apple is so progressive, they have only those newest USB ports.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to use any regular mouse, you need to first have an adapter where you can plug in a normal USB, which is the reason because I don't want to carry this back and forth between work and here every day. So that's why.
And I have one more anecdote, and it's the douchebag at the train station. So
train douche.
Yeah, train douche.
Oh,
so
I know
I was walking home to here, and I was getting on the train. I was going down the stairs. This guy speeds down and shoves me. I'm very glad I didn't land on my face, but something did land on its face. My whole I don't know how well the light will pick it up, but
if you go very close and covers there's a spider app somewhere installed. Yeah, now you see.
Yeah, it's both on the top by the camera and on the bottom, so it's like cracking and going inward, and I'm just like, and the guy ran off before I could be like, "Hey, fucko! Want to see what you did?" But
you want to give me $50 to fix this?
Yeah, but no. So that was fun. Luckily, it was only the glass and not the actual LCD on the inside, so it's not going to cost that much to fix. But it's still just a thing of why do people do the train stays at the station for a good 2 minutes. You're not going to gain.
He's very important, Key. He's very, very important.
Look, buddy. He didn't have a beeper. He didn't have an unshoveled tie. He didn't have a piece of toast in his mouth like a schoolgirl. There was nothing important about this person.
He didn't have a beeper. You are not that old. You don't get
in
in
my soul. I am that old.
I was gonna say, have you been watching nothing but movies from the 80s?
No, Michael J. Fox is the hottest person in the world right now.
She never left the 80s.
The secret to my success. Isn't that the one? Isn't that the one he's in? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was gonna say one beeper. Holy. There are going to be tons of people in your audience who go, "What's a beeper?"
But he didn't. He didn't have black and green hair, and there was no super villain coming in, and he wasn't running and crying, being like, "I have to save the day."
Trains in Berlin drive in a 5-minute
window. There was no excuse for this.
Yeah.
For this besmirchment on this American. They probably noticed. They probably just realized.
She can't do anything.
No, they were like, wait, pinpoint, everything goes slower. She's not one of us.
You're like, we see.
Here's what you get! Their quirk, like in My Hero Academia, is just seeing who's not your nationality.
Still need to catch up, 2 episodes behind.
But, so that was my week. It's been a lot of fun. And then I get to travel, not this coming week, but next week for Too Many Games in Philly, which will be fun. And then in July, I have to I'm traveling to London with this dude for CoxCon. And then as soon as I get back, I have to go to BronyCon. Yay!
Con season.
Con season.
Wait,
yeah. What has your week been like?
My week? Well, the food part we are obviously shared. Besides that, as always, work. There's not so much room for fun anecdotes when you are in the office far too much. However, I had one at least. So yeah, as you can hear by my sniffing, I'm
allergies are
great. I have great fun, good times with allergies. I hit like a train 2 weeks ago, and so last week was my first week, or the week before was the first week where it really hit hard, and I finally got nasal spray this week, which reminded me of something that happened the week before. So there's my excuse why I talk about something that's actually a week old.
Go ahead.
But yeah, the thing is, I had the sinuses clogged up and everything, and I was in a call with a friend and talking about, like when you eat hot stuff, like wasabi, it can help. Yeah. It can really blow out your shit, the stuff in your nose. And so from my last trip to America, I brought
literally it will.
From my last trip to America, I brought this baby with me. The
hottest fucking sauce.
Yeah, the hottest fucking sauce. And I was like, hey, I have this. Maybe this works. So I put really just a drop or something on a spoon. And licked it pure. And I was like, okay, this burns a little bit. Let's have a glass of water.
No!
Oh. Not water. Sorry, milk. Okay. I got a glass of milk. Sorry.
Okay.
So, however, as the call continued, I was like, sorry, I need to take a short break. Out, coming back in, call continues. Seriously, we need to end this call. I need to go again.
Yeah, I'm guessing that it's habanero or something hotter. But
I don't know, but
there's different chilies. Some of them, the heat is very prominent straight away. This, I'm guessing, was what they call in the biz a grower or a creeper, which is where you go like, oh, that's kind of that's a little hot, and then 5 minutes later it's like.
Not hot. Let's say it messed with
painful?
It messed with my digestive system and was a little bit painful in the guts. And yes, it was super fast.
Vesuvius.
And the weirdest stuff was last week I was still watching Troll Hunter season 3 on Netflix. No, season 2 actually. The first season was so long. I always think we are in season 3, but we're in season 2. Anyways, I'm still stuck in. Oh no, I actually am in season 3 by now. Anyways. Troll Hunter, great show. Yeah, go watch
Chad
it.
Has just decided that Key has to try it.
Okay.
Oh no.
But
that was way too much.
No, she's sick like that. She can actually probably.
It's okay. We'll wait like 5 minutes.
She also had it before for dinner.
Yeah, but I only put I put way less on the pizza than I did right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and there was pizza to wash that down.
And I just had watched an episode of Troll Hunter where the joke is like it's a Breakfast Club episode, and the teacher eats this super hot taco he took from one of the kids, and it's like and he spends the rest of the episode in the bathroom, and I was like, I didn't know this can happen in real life.
Yeah.
You didn't know this?
I thought it. I mean,
you really need to watch.
I understood that. Yes, there might be hot food might mess with your digestion, but I was not aware that it happens so quickly and with such a small amount that you actually are like,
because what it does is it tells your body doesn't know that it was hot sauce. Your body just knows that it's something very bad and it's got to get it out real fast.
Okay.
So it sends emergency signals of just like, hey, we have to evacuate whatever you just put in there, and it doesn't really matter how we're going to evacuate it. It's getting out of there. So yeah, unfortunately, there are those sometimes super quick reactions, and you're just like, oh boy, it's basically your body telling you made a mistake.
I guess so.
I want to read the back of this because it's fantastic. Also, something I recommend people watching if you like seeing people suffer from hot stuff. Watch any of Markiplier playing I Am Bread while he takes ghost pepper sauce. Watch him cry as he's playing one of the most frustrating games that's ever been on Steam.
And have you folks seen Rhett and Link when they try the various peppers?
Oh, yes. Watch Hot Pepper Gaming or Hot Ones.
Yeah.
They're all great shows to show what people will do. But my particular favorite, Hot Pepper Gaming, small tangent, is not even a hot pepper. They had Aaron from Game Grumps with Szechuan pepper seeds, which they aren't hot and they don't burn. They make your mouth incontrollably salivate, so he's basically spitting up an entire cup of water during the entire review.
Lovely.
It's a disgusting episode, but it's good. But anyway.
And of course, down in the description below if you're watching on YouTube.
Okay. We warned you. This is a serious fucking hot sauce. That's right. We said it because we had to. There is no other way to describe it. Just how hot this sauce is. I suppose we could have said, it's like the fiery depths of hell, or that it's ass burning.
Ass, yeah.
And,
it was really more
and
the stomach than the
keep
butt.
away from children and keep away from children and pets and the thing is, it's formatted really shittily. And keep out of contact with sensitive areas. But that just seems so wordy. The sauce is hot as fuck. But it doesn't say what it is. From what I can taste, habaneros, maybe ghost pepper.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, though.
And I was going to say, so do remember, wash your hands, Key.
Don't go into the eyes.
Yeah, 100% don't.
Even if apparently,
I'm not Johnny Knoxville. I'm not going to do that.
Well, they did that. They did a Hot Ones sort of thing at HRPC, and a couple of people on the stage. First of all, it was hilarious. I walked in for the panel afterwards, and everybody was crying, and some people were shaking. But a couple of people had accidentally wiped away the tears with the hands they'd used to eat the wings that had the hot sauce on it, and I was like, "Oh, this just got a whole extra level of power."
I had an experience like that. My aunt used to have jalapeno plants, and I would eat them straight. And one time I scratched my eyes, and they were stinging, but I didn't want to hear my family give me shit. So I was supposed to sweep their porch. So imagine a little Key with her eyes shut tight, sweeping the floor.
It's a hardship life for us. It's a hardship.
But anyway, was that your anecdote?
This was my anecdote of the week. I'm glad to have a single one.
Can I just say, it's not spicy. But I forgot that I have an open wound in my lower lip.
Ooh.
It's definitely sterilizing it. Let me just say that.
I was gonna say that's a good way. Yeah, if you weren't sure if you have small cuts on your hands, hand sanitizer at conventions is a good way to find out.
But so if I start slurring my words, my tongue is either swelling up or my wound is. Anyway, medias.
Yes, I would say let's go our medias first, and Bill has complete control over how long he wants to talk and make the show. Ooh. But we also have the Q&A at the end, so... I guess I start off with my media. Okay, so since in preparation for a current movie in cinema, I needed to catch up on its predecessor, namely the good old movie starring Chris Pratt known as Lost World.
Actually, no, that's unfair. I was about to pass judgment before you talked about it. You go.
It's not good, but it was hilarious.
Good. Okay, all right, then we're on the same page.
It's the movie is a bit all over the place in tone. It doesn't really. You have fun moments, you have dramatic moments. It's weird, indecisive, and elements that really bothered me. I mean, we have the. We had the shit that was going on always that the dinosaurs just happen to be aggressive to whatever is just plot convenience. So if the T-Rex needs to jump in and eat the Velociraptor, catch it out of the air at the end of the very, very first Jurassic Park, then he does this, but any other time he hunts humans. But if it's more dramatic for the heroes and the plot armor, then yeah.
I also love though in Jurassic World how we created the scariest dinosaur ever.
Oh, yes.
The dinosaur in the water is scarier than the dinosaur.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
it's a pretty massive, terrifying dinosaur.
yeah, this is exactly. But and even the T-Rex is still like, yeah, this looks fucking scary. The new one is like, it's so how they need to because it doesn't look scary on screen, and they just need to imply how scary it is. And I was like, it's still.
Well, what they tried, I feel like what they tried to do was and it's too late to do it, especially in this franchise, is they tried to do the brilliance of the movie Alien, which is the less is more. Like, we don't show much of it, you catch glimpses, and that's what's terrifying. The problem is, this franchise is long, and we've already seen all the dinosaurs you're doing, so it's like, no, you gotta show it now.
Yeah, but I mean,
don't get subtle and coy now, Jurassic Park / World. Don't try to be like, ooh, do you get to see? No, you don't get to see it. You already showed us everything.
Yeah,
and this dinosaur...
They gave up halfway through the movie. So they actually tried what you just described in the beginning. Like, they only see a glimpse through the woodwork and stuff. And then later it's just full view. Like, okay, there it is.
It's just like, here it is.
Battling a T-Rex on screen. Full screen.
Yeah, but it's also like, this dinosaur increasingly becomes a 12-year-old boy's fantasy of like, oh, it's smart. It made a distraction so the humans could go in and release itself. It knew what it was doing.
It's everything. It's the Predator, and it's Alien, and it's the Terminator, and it's everything together.
It can rip off its tracking device.
I mean,
yeah, it can fly. That's next. For sure, they're just like, oh, and then we spliced it with the pterodons, and now it can just fly as well.
Yeah, we already speculated how the third installment of Jurassic World will look
Jurassic Space.
Yeah, because how does it normally go? We have Jurassic Park, then we go Jurassic World, and from Super Mario, we learn after World comes Galaxy. So
I was going to say Galaxy or Universe. Yeah, that's where we got to go.
But yeah, I mean, since this one is out for a while, maybe we can go a bit more in spoiler territory.
Go ahead.
Oh, nice transition.
I worked long and hard on it.
I bet.
Google search that GIF.
That's true. I wanted to have a really crappy, good old classic GIF. This was important for me. No, I mean, this movie, the aspects that bother me. First of all, the dinosaurs talk like rah 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 rah. Rah, 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 rah. This is not how animals talk. No. Animals talk through noise, not through repeated similar noises. They talk like stance, intonation, and not rah, 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 like an exchange of verbals. But they do this in the movie, and it's like, as somebody who has grown up with pets, I'm like, what the fuck? And
and like one noise that an animal makes can mean, the equivalent of an entire sentence in human language. And you don't go exactly. You don't go like. It's Mars Attacks.
Yes, yeah, pretty much. It was really Mars Attacks.
And they're Pokemon.
Yes, and or Pokemon or whatever, and it bothered me so much because earlier in this very movie, they make a very big deal out how Chris Pratt actually is the animal psychologist, and he has those clickings and the stares, and so they show that somebody on set,
Chris Pratt's all like body language and then like the little clicker thing.
Yes, and then the dinosaurs.
This is our mama. No, I'm your mama now. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is so like. Somebody on the writing staff knew about this shit, but later in the movie they are like, whoop, out of the window. Similar thing. So we have what's the name? Dominatus Rex or something? Indominus Rex. So we have Indominus Rex.
So
the beautiful singers, they are completely aware of it and are like, wait, we called it Indominus Rex? Didn't we go with a different name? Oh, nobody came up with one. Yeah, it's nice that they let us as the audience have part of the writing process and the struggles they had during the time.
My own spoilery thing. Okay, so if anyone's seen the original Jurassic Park, you would know that the scientist who helped make the dinosaurs, is played by B.D. Wong. So his character, Henry. In the Jurassic Park movie, he was benevolent. He just made dinosaurs.
He was a scientist. In the perfect way scientists are, where it's just like, well, we could do it, so why didn't we do it? Like
now he's evil.
Huh? Yep, he's pretty evil.
And like
now he's just like
he works with the military to crossbreed these dinosaurs. He hides information of what the dinosaur is spliced with, because not telling us what the dinosaurs were spliced with so well in the original Jurassic Park.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we've been here before. You remember?
You were here. Remember Wayne Knight? You know where he is? Dead.
Like you said the line to Jeff Goldblum. You were just like, oh, is this? No, you said it to Sam Neill. It's like, oh, it's frogs. And Sam Neill later is just like, wait a sec, that's bad.
They changed genders.
Or sex, actually.
Or sex.
Nowadays, you have to
they
very
changed sex,
distinct
which
between those
they
terms.
don't state that. They don't talk about it in this movie, which I'm very glad, because if they brought up, oh no, the Indominus Rex can do asexual reproduction, I think I may have given up on that movie.
But,
you know what? I forgot about that. They actually said that.
No, they did.
In the original Jurassic Park, they were like, they can change.
I
They can
thought
make
you were going to say
babies.
the Indominus Rex can now just it can just give.
It just ate its
like
its
the,
brother.
It's like the Mogwai.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Somebody put water on it, and now there's 7.
But yeah, and one last beef I had with this movie before I pass over to Key, which is also a spoiler because it's right there at the end of the movie. So they once again make a very clear statement early in the movie that the Indominus Rex slaughters all those other dinosaurs, and this is because he's mentally unstable. He doesn't eat them. A dinosaur usually only hunts for food, and they eat food, and he is sick because he just killed them. At the very end, so when the lady gets the Tyrannosaurus Rex and gets him to uses a flare to guide him to the Indominus to fight the Indominus. So the T-Rex instantly is like, hey, that's the flare that's usually used for food. I follow this better because I'm hungry. Why else would he follow it if he wasn't hungry? All of them are actually female. But, then she throws it at him, then there's a big epic fight, and then at the end, Indominus is defeated, T-Rex and Blue, the Velociraptor, stand in front of each other, and turn around and go away, destroying the logic that was beforehand explicitly stated that a dinosaur does not simply go on a killing spree if it is mentally healthy. But no, they came there for the battle by internal logic because they must have been hungry. There is no
and then
other
one
reason.
said to the other one was like, we're cool, right? And the other one was like, yeah, we're
man.
cool.
Yeah, but
It's like
Like
you're still the mainstay of the franchise.
If they had longer dinosaur arms, they would fist bump. They'd be like,
yeah, pretty much.
If the Velociraptors, if they could, because it's Chris Pratt teaching them, if they had longer arms, they would dab.
I guess so.
Dabosaurus Rex.
I mean, just to say, I have no problem with made-up science fantasy bullshit. I'm eating this up, but keep your logic within the movie.
Yeah, like I can suspend my disbelief, but if you're going to disregard your own world and like the logic within it, then I'm just confused.
Yeah, but anyway,
but from my medium, which was this old movie about dinosaurs. Keyframe, what's your movie you wanted to talk about?
A new movie about dinosaurs.
Oh, really? Which one?
Yeah, we went to go see this one. Turn on the spoiler thing. I have words.
Nothing neutral to say about it.
No, we're straight into spoiler territory.
Okay, still,
this movie made me angry.
Mild spoilers for the audience before they know that they completely have to mute us. Okay. Mild spoilers, or
this movie sucked worse than the first movie. Somehow, very inexplicably, it sucked worse.
Okay, how deep do you go into spoilers? What do we have to people to say?
I'm going to talk about the girl.
Fair enough.
Here's something that's not spoilery. But
say the title first so people can tune off or not.
Yeah, but like here's the thing. I want to say this. Yeah, I want to say this just so people because this gives no context. How the fuck do you make a giant dinosaur fight in a fiery house boring? Let me tell you, Jurassic Fallen Kingdom does it. Anyway, on to spoilers.
Fair enough.
Oh my god, this movie. Okay, so they abandoned the island where Jurassic World was taking place, which apparently for the entire time had a volcano on it that was dormant because plot convenience, and now is active because plot convenience. And they're running this huge legislative thing to see if we should save the killing ancient machines, which Bryce Dallas Howard's character, Ginger, let's just call her Ginger, Ginger Snap, was is part of this whole like, hey, let's still save the dinosaur team. The world has now had a generation where we had dinosaurs and humans interconnect. Yeah, and you know what happened during that entire generation where people interconnect? Everyone got eaten or were threatened to be eaten. Anyway,
yeah, have they watched their own movies?
Yes, and
it's like, come on, like at this point it's happened like 5 times.
Yes, and here's the thing. Jeff Goldblum's in the movie, because they had all these interviews where Jeff Goldblum was there to talk about it.
Yeah, and I saw him in the trailer. I saw him give this monologue.
He was in the trailer, and that whole thing with Jeff Goldblum reading the steamed hams meme, that was during a Fallen Kingdom interview.
I'm guessing
he's in there. He's in there for 2 scenes, and they all took place in the same setting. So by all accounts, they probably filmed it in one go.
Oh yeah, one day shoot. That takes me back to like 80s and 90s direct-to-video releases where they would tout that there was a star of like a known entity, and you'd be like, oh my god, that person's in this. Well, then it's legitimate, yeah. And then you watch it, and they die within 2 minutes, or they're in the opening like setup, and you go like, there they are, and then they're not in it at all ever again, and it's like, oh, I see what you did. You baited me hard.
But no.
And of course, with Jeff Goldblum, because everybody loves Jeff, and you're just like, well, I gotta watch the Jeff, and then Jeff is just like, all right, I'm done in one day. That you've got me for one day, contractually one day, and then I'm done.
The biggest slap to the face was that he was in the end credits, not like the slidey credits, like the Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, B.D. Wong, and Jeff Goldblum. He had an "and" with his name.
Of course.
You don't deserve that "and."
Well, no, I was going to say that becomes like a contractual obligation. Like, because he is of a certain like stature within like the guild and things like that, they have to do that.
Let's face it.
But that's always tricky when you go like the "and." It's just like, okay, you're either in this a bunch or not at all.
But like, okay, and then they had. I'm not going to give the entire plot of the movie, but they had evil military,
of course,
which were even Jurassic World, the first one, had more subtle evil military than Fallen Kingdom. I mean, in this movie, they go to get Blue because apparently Blue is one of the smartest dinosaurs, which is the Velociraptor with the blue streak on her.
Yeah.
And then
best buddies.
They shoot him. Because they got Chris Pratt to go back onto the island to get Blue to save her, and he had her fully calm down. Then one army guy just runs in with a tranquilizer dart, and so Blue goes to attack it, even though Chris Pratt is like, go away, everyone's coming up, and then they shoot her in the stomach. And then they shoot Chris Pratt with the dinosaur tranquilizer dart. So we got a great scene of Chris Pratt avoiding lava by looking like a character from QWOP.
How? Okay, just one sec. So they shoot him with dinosaur tranquilizer.
Yes.
And he's still awake.
Yeah. Well, no, he's alive. There's no way he doesn't die. Because I've watched documentaries where they go to tranquilize like lions or elephants and things like that.
Yeah.
And they have said in those documentaries where they have to be really careful handling the dart and like loading the dart, because if that amount of tranquilizer of that strength gets into a human bloodstream, dead. It will just stop your heart. And so I don't imagine that the amount of tranquilizer you need for a fucking velociraptor doesn't kill Chris Pratt.
But it is Chris Pratt.
It's Star-Lord. He's part deity. But anyway, no, here's the thing. They go throughout this entire thing of trying to humanize the dinosaurs by showing like a baby triceratops with his mama. So apparently it's implied they do this. And then they show one of the long necks, let's just go by Land Before Time names, as the island is getting
Brachiosaurus?
Yes, as it's getting covered in the ash and stuff. It's just like
and the lady is crying, and even Chris Pratt is a little bit misty-eyed looking at the dying dinosaur.
Then and then they have like this entire auctioning of the dinosaurs, and they're shocking them and everything. By the way, all the dinosaurs that they auction are more scarier than their new genetic, the Endoraptor.
Yeah,
oh my god.
they tried to top off the Indominus Rex runs more, and it failed again.
It looked like a bigger Velociraptor, but instead of the blue streak like Blue, it has a yellow streak.
It was
symbolism.
But it was so amazing. So you have this one dinosaur which is in this cage, like, rah, rah, and it was actually like, oh yeah, okay, this looks dangerous, but all the people at the auction are like, oh, this looks good, I pay $1 million for that one. And then they bring the new one in, and everybody's like, they were completely aware that this dinosaur looks not scary at all, so they try to sell it as super scary by the reaction of the people in the shops.
I'm going to just say now the two dumbest things about this movie.
Oh boy.
They're both separate. One, how oddly predictable this was. So we're sitting in the theater. There's a little girl character because these movies need to have 1 or 2 kid characters. By the way, the kid characters from the first Jurassic World, they're not even mentioned. Apparently,
thank goodness they were trash.
Ginger Snap does not talk to her nieces and nephews ever again. Though that family probably got divorced. They're a broken family. But anyway,
they're not allowed to hang out with Ginger Snaps anymore. It's just like, look what happened when we sent our kids to be with her.
But yeah, so John Hammond, partner from the original Jurassic Woodstock Snoopy. He's an old man in a wheelchair. Blah blah blah.
He's a farmer from Babe.
Yeah, has a granddaughter. Let's call her Clonissa, and they constantly set up this thing of what her mother looks like and being like, your mother visited the park once and all this stuff. And we were watching the movie, and I leaned to Max and I was like,
Laura Dern.
I was like, she's, you know what? She's probably a clone. This is going to be some Pokemon the first movie shit. And then
And in this moment I was like, wait, they just talked about the clone lab in the basement. It is a clone.
And I was like, no, they can't be that stupid. I thought legitimately the twist was going to be that mom was the screamy Unix system girl from the first movie. No, she's a clone.
Has enough time passed for that to be the case, though?
Yeah,
3 years.
Probably, if she just.
But that's what I'm thinking, because she was, I guess, conservatively like 13 or 14 in the first one.
But we're in present day, and Jurassic Park took place in the 80s. But like
no 80s come
or
on
90s.
Now young people don't do that.
Well, I mean, the book was made, the book predates
the book, but the movie, like, we saw her in the movie, and if they're gonna clone her, you go like, all right.
Yeah, but anyway, there's like,
I was thinking like Laura Dern's kid. You'd be like, it's Laura Dern's kid.
Nope.
Yeah, but no. Poorly photoshopped picture for the reveal, by the way.
Yeah.
I love badly photoshopped pictures where you just go like, remember the past? It was like, no.
It's like Jeff Bridges in Tron.
And this.
Yeah. It doesn't
really
quite. It's like,
me. This confuses me so much. They have dinosaurs whose skin nowadays looks so realistic that you are like, yeah, this is a fucking. They shot this with a real dinosaur.
Right,
CGI cannot be that good.
Photoshop a face.
Yes.
They let the intern. They were like, hey, Larry, we're doing the texture on the Indominus Endo whatever. Can you take care of this one picture for this crucial scene? This will be your big break, Larry. And Larry, meanwhile, munching on his Taco Bell, is like, all right, sure. He's playing Overwatch actually on the system.
Well, I was going to say,
computer.
Larry is like a meme lord. Like Larry, like, top of his game on his message board in memes.
He tried to put the lost.jpg meme on her shirt, and they were like, Larry.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so yeah, like Larry's top quality memes, and like his uncle is involved in the production, and he's just like, oh, my nephew's really good at like, graphic design and stuff. We should get him to, and they're just like, okay, Larry, we need you to make this picture look like this person. And he's just like, all right, you got it. And then there's 5 drafts of just like, take the deal with it cool glasses off, Larry. She's not wearing deal with it glasses. Like, I need you to get rid of that.
Please take it seriously, Larry.
But like
Larry, this is a serious film ish.
And then,
well, it's Jurassic World.
Yeah,
so.
But then my final criticism, and this is a criticism I have of the first movie too. Don't introduce the underwater dinosaur, which they made kind of a big deal of in the beginning of this movie, that it got out into the normal ocean.
Whoa.
And they don't state anything about it except for one scene during one of Jeff Goldblum's montages with a bunch of surfers, and in the wave you see this giant dinosaur, and it's like,
The shot
This
from the
would be
trailer.
the dinosaur people save. The Navy would buy this in a minute. Why aren't you splicing your dino DNA with this thing? It's in this.
Sure.
It's a dinosaur, which is already scary, in the scariest place in the world, the ocean.
Yeah, who needs nuclear subs? We have this friggin' thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my media. I'm sorry that went on long. I saw you do this.
Yeah.
But come on, there's so much to unpack.
There is so much to unpack. But yeah,
It's a
Bill,
lot.
you brought something to introduce to class as well now, didn't you?
I did. I wish I'd seen a movie that I was upset about. I haven't seen any movies. I guess I don't know. Like, does it count if it's? Does it have to be recent?
Nah,
No,
it's
I
more
mean,
like the recent what you recently experienced.
You can talk about the video game you
So,
were telling
yeah.
us.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I'll
yeah.
talk about the video game. The last movie I saw was Thor Ragnarok, which was awesome, by the way, and everybody should go and see that one.
Absolutely, I can second that notion.
Yeah. So I played, I've been playing the game Neo, which, as I was saying in the pre-show, but for those who've just tuned in, it is basically, it's a Souls-like, so it's like Dark Souls, but it's set in the year 1600 Japan. And the story is that it's an Irish pirate who was part of the privateer fleet of the Queen of England during their wars with Spain. And what they were sent to do was to gather these magical stones called Amrita, which is essentially like, if you know what in film study terms a MacGuffin is. A MacGuffin is a thing that it doesn't matter what it is. Like, it could be the briefcase that has the codes in it, or it could be the jewel or the whatever, but it's the thing that everybody in the story is trying to get. So the Amrita is this magical substance that allows you to control people and create demons and all sorts of crazy stuff. And it turns out that England would have been defeated by Spain, except that they got these magical stones, and the magical stones helped them defeat the Spanish Armada. And then they were like, oh, you know what, we need more of these so that we can take over the world. And they're like, you know what, there's some really great supplies of this magical stuff in Japan, and they're going through some wars right now, and wars blood and carnage energize and create this substance. So they're like, okay, we'll send somebody to Japan to help ferment battle and various assassinations and strife in Japan during this period. So let's go do that. And they go do that. And your spirit guardian, as William, the Irish pirate, who's the only white person.
I assume? Oh wait, no, he's gone again.
It's Thor, it's the Thor-looking guy. So the Thor-looking guy is William, and he's an Irish pirate. And he was, originally contracted by England to get the stones, and then England's just like, okay, well, we got to cover our tracks. So they're going to kill him, but they don't end up killing him because he has this guardian spirit, and this guardian spirit helps him. Basically, he cannot die while this guardian spirit exists. And then everybody else in the game, all these particular characters, they have guardian spirits as well, of different kinds that give them different powers and abilities. And the thing I really loved about this game was that it takes actual historical events and kind of shrouds them in this. It's historical fiction, and I love historical fiction for doing that, because it takes things that really did happen, and then it goes that story that you heard about. Well, what if there was this secret thing that it was a bunch of demons and a bunch of other cool stuff, and it was like, oh wow, okay, I'm digging this. And so that's just the story element, and I love narrative in games. I'm super into games that have narrative, and when there isn't one, or when there's a sort of a fake one sort of spread over the top of a game, it doesn't feel right to me, and I get a little bored with it, because I'm just like, no, but story, come on, I need some story. And so the problem with a lot of games is that they go okay, we'll figure out the story later, we'll just get some gameplay. And you do need both elements. You need really good gameplay because it's a game, but I'm there for story. It can go too far that way, though. There are some games that were on the PlayStation where it was essentially like you were watching an interactive movie where you occasionally would push a button, and that's just well, I should just probably watch a movie. You know, like I don't know why I paid $80 for this movie that takes much longer to watch than a movie. But anyway, the game, it plays really well as well. It's really fun. It's got some RPG elements, so you know you get to level up your character how you want. You get to wear all kinds of different armor and use weapons and things like that, and they look really different. You can look amazing and cool, and you can be a ninja, or you can be a samurai, or you can be all these different kinds of things, and tons of different kinds of period specific and appropriate weapons from 1600s Japan. It's really fun.
It has an 8 out of 10 from trusted reviews.
Yeah, and
and it came out ages ago, and I guess I'm not a big fan of Dark Souls, just because the thing that I had a problem with that game was that the story wasn't immediately there, and people were like, "Oh, you can get it. Like you can get it if you look hard enough." And I was like, "I don't want to look hard for the story. I want it to be there." And so people were just like, "Oh, it's like Dark Souls," and that actually turned me off. And I was like, "Oh, okay, I don't want to."
It's one of those games.
I was like, I don't want to play that. And then I saw, like, I could have done the bare minimum of research, but I didn't because there's always games and I'm always busy. But I saw a trailer like a month ago, and I was like, actually. Because I love Japanese history and I love Japanese culture, and especially that period of Japan, the sort of the feudal into the Edo period. And I was like, oh, okay, I kind of dig this. And there were some old PS2 games called Onimusha, which sort of followed a similar vein in that they were set in ancient Japan and had like demons in it. And I was like, okay, cool. I like the idea of fighting demons in ancient Japan. This is pretty sweet. And so I looked at the game and it was on sale and I grabbed it, and I have been obsessed by it for a few weeks now. But I'm also worried because I tend to do this with games. Like I will just play the heck out of it. And then I'll kind of
poof.
Imagine it's like somebody who's starving and somebody like hands them a delicious juicy peach and they're just like, oh well, I could make this peach last and I could just like take some bites or whatever, but I'm just like and I just get every bit of juice out of it and just crush it.
But as long
and
as
then
you
I'm like,
get your juice out of it, that's still awesome. I usually have the problem, I obsess over a game for a few weeks, put 60 hours in it, and then I'm like, poof, interest is gone, like, I never.
And see, that's the thing. Like, I got all the juice out of it, and I have got the juice. And there's still some juice left. There's a little bit of juice left. But the problem is that I already can see myself going, I might play it a bit more here and there, and a little more here. Be like, oh, but what's next? And it's because like I need story. I've done all the story. Sorry.
Is that why you're like level 300 in HOTS?
A little bit, like, and there's no story there. It's me just going like, well, I'll sort of make my own story. So I play a lot of the same characters. Actually, the way I play HOTS is not the way I've seen anybody else play HOTS, which is people sort of like, well, I was going to say people like look at the characters that they like and then they just play those characters. Whereas I'm looking at it like, oh, I should just play all of the characters and get the loot boxes and the cool skins and the fun stuff like that. And so I end up with this inflated player level, which doesn't actually reflect that I've put tons of games in. Like, Key, I've seen your profile. Like, you've played a ton of games on Lucio. I haven't even come close to playing that many games on my most played character, because I'm just like splitting my time between going like, I'm going to play this and I'm going to play that and then I'm going to play the other one. Got to get him to level 5. Got to get that gold. Got to get those chests. Got to get those gems.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's not like Lucio is my only mastered character.
Oh, but she is harmless. British ninja.
Today
my daily is play a support, a StarCraft hero, and an Overwatch hero. Yeah, this fits perfectly. I play the butcher again.
Right.
Or hey, I have to play a Diablo character. Who am I going to play? Vala. I'm a human machine gun.
Vala, my girl.
Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, I'm happy when it's a StarCraft hero because I could be like, yay, Nova, which nobody likes because Nova plays really for nobody but Nova. Like Nova can't really do anything. Yeah, like Nova can't really do much to help the team. It's like, well, I'm definitely not doing any, wave clear. That's just not going to happen.
You see your entire team and the other entire team just together, and you're standing in the corner. It's like, I'm going to roll away.
Yeah, or I'm standing and going like, hey, I'm soaking XP. Like, somebody's got to be in the lane, so I'm doing that. Invisible, not contributing to the lane, but I'm soaking that XP, guys. I'm doing a really, really valuable job.
But
yeah, it's, you know, I play games where I squeeze all the juice out of the games. And Neo is absolutely one of those ones where because it's also one of those ones that has like the new game plus. So like you finish the story, you finish the whole game, and then you can play it again, but the enemies get harder. They put new enemies in different places, and the loot gets better. So it's also got that kind of like Diablo, Borderlands idea of just like, hey, keep playing, because whenever you defeat enemies, you get randomized loot, and you might get really, really awesome loot, huh? So it's got that kind of appeal element to it. And these are all things that are games and series that I really love. So it's like smashed a lot of different systems together, and I think it really works. I really dig it.
I mean, it's on Steam, so people can grab it if they want to.
Yeah.
Since you said, even though it's a misrepresentation, you said like it's
Dark Souls.
Dark Soul in Japan. Difficulty.
Yeah.
Is it this kind of hardcore play where you die a lot and?
Yeah, you will die a lot.
So you need to power. You need to have a little bit the Dark Soul player mentality to have fun.
You do. However, I've seen a lot of people who have come purely from Dark Souls who then have problems with it. And the problem that most people have, and like I didn't really, because I didn't have too much experience with Dark Souls. In Dark Souls, from what I've learned, is that if you like dodge roll all the time, that's how you live, because you're invincible while you dodge roll. However, in this one, the iframes, or the invincible frames, which are part of the rolling animation, they're much shorter, and you need to block. If you don't block, you'll die. Whereas in Dark Souls, a lot of the time, and Bloodborne as well.
Keep rolling.
Yeah, people were like, if you block in those games, it's actually worse. Like, don't do that. And in this one, it's like, no, there are going to be times where you have to block, and if you don't block, you'll die. But you will die a lot. And the first boss, I was reading about it. I actually looked up a video because I was like, I've died 30 times. I need something. I need something. People have said that like 30% of all players quit before the first, like at the first boss, because they're just like, wow, fuck this, just flip the table.
Well, so I guess you recommend this game.
I definitely recommend it, but it is one of those ones, and I'm not elite and like hardcore where I'm just like, you got to get good, scrub. It's hard, like, and I liked the challenge. It was hard, but it didn't feel punishingly hard to where it was just like, well, what the shit? Like, I was like, okay, I got to learn to block. Or, okay, I got to learn to, dodge a little better, or time it right, or read the moves. And it rewarded me for learning the game, rather than me sort of bringing my experience and going, no, game, you will be how I want you to be.
Yeah. Well, if you guys want the game, we'll have you can get it on the complete collection on Steam. But because Bill has stuff to do, and I have a flight in the morning, let's get to these questions.
Yeah, questions.
Questions.
By the way, thank you, Gray. We now have our fan art for this week's podcast.
Yes.
So this one's for Bill, from Magical Dude on our Discord.
Hi, Magical Dude.
What has been your favorite character to voice thus far in your career?
Thus far in my career, favorite character to voice. It would either be Pharynx from My Little Pony, or the character that I'm doing on the new show, which I can't talk about. But
let's just name him Ginger Snaps.
There we go, Ginger Snaps. Yeah, so Ginger Snaps on the new show is really, really fun. Like, it's a fun character. He's kind of stupid, but in a really lovable, over-the-top, ridiculous way. And like, it cracks me up, it cracks the director up, and it cracks the other cast members up when I get to do that character. And that's a good sign. That's always just like, oh, this is fun. We are all having fun now.
I can't wait to meet Ginger Snaps.
Yeah, Ginger Snaps is going to be so fun. I can't wait for people to see it, and I really, really want it. I really, really can't wait for it to come out. But it's that thing of prelay animation where it's just like, oh, this is so exciting! It's coming out in a year and a half.
Once again, everybody, follow Bill's Twitters, and you will not miss it.
Yes.
Yeah, at Bill Newton VO. You'll see me tweet about it when I can.
Yes. From Denim Ninja. If you had the chance to clone yourself, would you or would you not? Why or why not? I don't... What would I be doing with this clone is the question.
Yeah, for what purpose were you cloned?
I mean, here's the thing. This actually goes back to a conversation I had with Denim where I don't know how we got there. And for me, it was like, hey, this sounds like a great idea. Having a clone, this could resolve a lot of private issues, but it could also help, like, being... Back in college, I was able to pull out a video every week on my YouTube. Nowadays, I do a podcast because I have not the time to edit an entire day. Or Let's Plays, the other high form of YouTube content. And for my actual content videos, I had to hire an editor because I can't get myself motivated to sit down on the weekend and edit. So yeah, if I had a clone, then I could... My clone could sit at home and do the editing how I like it. And because he has enough time to do it, he still could do it. And then we also could do stuff like, because there's a million bazillion animes out there, we could split the list, watch through our halves of the list, and then recommend to the other what would be the stuff that's actually worth checking out. So we could also be a little bit efficient and economic with our stuff we watch.
Here is the problem, though, and it's every time that the clone thing comes up because, you imagine, oh, okay, well, the clone is going to be just like me and going to want to do the things I want to do, but what we actually want is we want a slave of ourselves. And the problem is that, like, you would say, like, hey, can you do the editing? And you don't want to do the editing. So your clone would be like, no, I don't want to do the editing. I'm going to do my own shit. And you'd be like, no, clone, but this is why I created you. It's like when parents have kids and the kids grow up and go like, I'm independent and I hate you and I don't want to do what you say I have to do. And it's like, oh no, what have I done? What have I done?
Here's the funny thing about me. I did this during college. I did the editing, and nowadays
you cloned yourself.
Yes, I did. He's now living down there in Italy on the beach and having a good life. No, the thing is, I realize I have enough income with my job.
Yeah.
I mean, one of us has to work, obviously, but I have enough income with my job so that one of us has to go work and the other can just do the chill at home life and actually build up a YouTube career for the two of us. We're a little bit like the movie The Prestige. Like, huh?
The thing I'm imagining.
I guess, except however, you also, like, you got to feed and clothe this clone. Like, if you're the one making all the money,
well, we could
so
share,
now your income is like...
Yeah, the money...
Well, that's what I mean. Like, all of a sudden, like, you know, well, you can't share food.
Yeah, but I have enough surplus income that I could...
That's good.
I could feed another person. I could keep another person alive on my
right. But what if the clone just goes like, you know what? I want to travel. Like, I want to go live somewhere else and follow my dreams.
He wouldn't. He's me. He wouldn't.
Oh, but he hasn't had your life. He hasn't had your life.
That's the point. That's the point where it broke for me. This is the
problem.
Because even if we start at the same point and are like, okay, I'm the work dude, I'm the stay-at-home editing dude. So we both have our pros and cons. We would then drift apart. He would be interested in producing videos about different stuff because he gets to experience different stuff. And then after a year, even if we super optimistic and say for a year this goes well, eventually we drift apart. And then everything goes to hell. But yeah, how about you guys?
Say, have you seen the movie Multiplicity?
Yes,
with
I
Michael?
have. But then again,
it's pretty much that where like he starts with the idea of just like I'm such a busy guy. Like what if I had like another version of myself? And then like that clone just goes like, yeah, but I don't want to do what you want to do.
But what I imagine.
But you have to.
What I imagine is there was an episode of Futurama where they made a cloning machine where it would make smaller copies of things. So Bender uses it to make like smaller copies of Bender until there was Benders at microscopic level to the point that they changed the entire Earth's water supply into beer. And the thing is, they came together for essentially the end of the world problem. And then they were like, they were like, the first Bender was like, okay, my Benders, help me. Nah, I don't want to put 1/6 zillionth of an effort and they all go to space. But it's like, so it's like, yeah, they'll gain their own sentience. But
what we really want is we want a robot that looks exactly like we do, that could stand in for us when we want and do it, like follow all the orders we want.
We want a cardboard cutout that you see at the music stores of the characters, except it can talk.
But like it can do stuff.
But yeah, and my thing though is like, what if the clone experiences? If I send it out to do things. Or if I leave it at home to do things, it will have life experiences and memories that I wouldn't get to have myself. And personally, I would feel like I missed out because I would use it to divvy up stuff. Like, yeah, I love to travel, so I would travel and the other one would stay home. But there's plenty of memories and stuff to stay at home. And I'll come back and I'll be like, Brett, I'm home. And suddenly a whole different life was made, and it's like, well, it's still you, and it's like, what?
If the clone gets like an opportunity, like is offered some kind of like job or like fantastic opportunity to do something, you would forever be like, but like, was that them offering it to me, or like has the clone now gained its own sense of self?
Yes,
like has it gained its own sense of self and independence that only it could be offered that thing, and if it had been me in its place, I wouldn't have got that opportunity.
We are suddenly in Rick and Morty.
We have to kill our clone.
Yeah, so I'm more afraid the clone would become murderous and be like, hey.
Yeah. What if the clone becomes more you than you and decides that it gets to be the one?
Yeah, it's just kind of like, before you made me, you were able to handle this stuff both on your own. You made me for convenience. If you can handle that, I can, and I want to.
Exactly. It's just like, well, you didn't need me, but I don't need you.
This is a horror movie concept. Let's make this.
This is a Twilight Zone episode that I'm pretty sure they probably already made back in the 50s and 60s. They probably made this episode and was like, okay, yeah, they probably did it better than we would.
But, so...
I take it you are probably not into cloning yourself.
Let's not make
the idea sounds interesting, but like, I have just one or two questions beyond the basic concept where I'd be like, no, this is going to get way too complicated and problematic for me, I think.
Yeah, so, good question. Next question.
Yeah, great question.
This next question I remember from the Discord. What has been... for us, it would be on this podcast, the cringiest moment, and I guess, or to make it more general, what has been one of the more or most cringe-filled cringe experiences you've had in your life?
I mean, Bill, if one of those moments happened within the last hours, then this is also a fair answer.
I listened to a review of Love on a Leash. Well, someone was haphazardly trying to put sunglasses on the other person.
It's not it's not this podcast, but I do have one, and it's from a while ago, but I'll never ever forget it. It was where I went to an event, like a sort of a networking event for entertainment industry. And it was a while ago, and I went there, and I was meeting people, and I knew some people there, and I was sort of like, oh, hey, it's good to see you. It's good to see you at this event. We were just sort of chatting and things like that. And then somebody came up and introduced themselves to me, and I don't pretend like I'm famous in any way, especially because the bulk of my work has been in voice. So to recognize me from my face it is rarer, much rarer. So I'd be like, okay. So I thought maybe I had met this person at a job or something like that, and so I was just like, oh, okay, this is cool. But I didn't remember their name. Like there was that sort of that glimmer where you're just like, I recognize you, but I'm not sure where. So I'm just gonna do the thing where you go, hey, it's so good to see you, and you like, and everybody knows, like they know that's but you try, you just go like, hey, it's so good to see you, like how you doing, blah 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 blah, and you do that, and you just sort of like
some clues get dropped.
Yeah, like clues get dropped. Somebody introduces like themselves and their friend, or says like, oh hey, like I'm such and so, this is blah, and you just go like, oh okay, and then you're just like, whew, that didn't happen though, and so it just sort of went from like. It didn't last. The conversation didn't last very long. Like they had to sort of like go off and they were talking to other people, and I was talking to some other people as well, and it was fine. And I just thought like, oh, okay, I feel a little embarrassed because I didn't remember who that was. And then the next day, I found out that was my agent.
Why didn't we save this for the thing to lead to the push? How did you?
And well, because the thing is that like at that stage in my career, it was earlier in my career. I hadn't younger Bill, who hadn't really met my agent that many times. Like I had met them when I went to the agency and like signed up and things like that. But again, the bulk of what I was doing was not like face-to-face work. Like, you know, emails a thing, texts are a thing, phone calls, stuff like that. So I had spoken to them on the phone a number of times, emailed them a bunch, but they didn't have like a headshot as part of like their email profile, and neither did I. And so I had not face-to-face. I had face-to-face with this person maybe a couple of times in years. So I just did not have the face to like voice to, you know, whatever. Whereas because I was their client, they had seen my face and things like that because they like had me on file. I didn't have my agent on file. And so it was, yeah, I sent an email and I just laid it all out there. And I was just like, I am so sorry. Like I was a little overwhelmed that night meeting a few different people, like that, you know, some that I knew, some that I didn't. And, you know, honestly, I said, like, I haven't seen you in maybe 2 years and I feel awful and, you know, really, really terrible. But when I found out and realized that that's who it was and that like it had been one of those just like, hey, and they almost certainly were just like, he doesn't know who I am.
Motherfucker.
Like, yeah, exactly. Just like smiling, just going like, he has no idea who I am. And I was just like, this is my agent. This is the person who's like responsible for like representing me.
He's gonna cast me in Love on a Leash.
Exactly. I was like, oh, the next day I was like, oh no. It was the worst. It really was. I was just like, oh, such a jackass.
That's a good one.
But it's fine. It's fine.
It's not.
It's not fine, but I've moved past it being the worst thing in the world. Yeah. I don't want to crawl into a hole in the ground as much. Mm-hmm.
Well,
but yeah, it was pretty bad.
What about you?
I know that I'm probably the cringiest person on this podcast.
You are.
Yeah, I know. And I know that there are frequently moments where everybody's like, oh, God damn it. But I cannot recall them. We need Yuri here. Yuri could probably tell cringe moments from me on a daily basis. So I will just go with one of my horrible puns, which did not happen on the podcast. But, so... The aforementioned Indian place where Yuri is obsessed with his food. Mm-hmm. They also have on the way out
matches.
Matches. They have a little basket with cards and matches.
Oh, I was here for this. No.
And Yuri went there, and he made it a habit. He's a smoker, bad guy. So he is a very frequent smoker. So he uses a lot of matches. So the first time we went there, he picked up a packet of matches, and the second time we were on our way out, he picked up matches again, and I'm like, oh, I see, you already burned through them. And he's like, why do I hang out with you?
I just started walking faster. There is
I immediately thought of one, like, while you were doing that, it'd be like, oh, you got another one to match the first.
I believe I made this one the second time. Something about me.
But there was a story Yuri told me.
Oh boy.
That was another moment where you accidentally caused embarrassment for yourself and your family name.
I cannot believe that. Nothing embarrasses me anymore.
It was a meeting. And you accidentally unplugged your headphones and Nightcore started playing really loud.
Oh no, this is it.
Is this a normal occurrence?
Yes, this is a normal. So during work, I usually wear my big headphones and to zone out the rest of the office because screw colleagues. And I listen to often, depending on the level of concentration needed. I either listen to something without vocals, like chiptunes, epic music, whatsoever. But if the task I'm doing is a more brainless one, then I like to listen to stuff with vocals. However, it must not be actually good music, because if it's actually good, I'm sitting there and sing the music.
Why are you in why are you in the jukebox Discord so much?
But for those times where I need to listen to music that gives has a certain power level behind it to keep you awake, but at the same time is for brainless work. I do listen to Nightcore during work. I will admit it. Now I have this thing when I go somewhere to a meeting, I just unplug everything. And my laptop is set to being muted when the headphones are unplugged, and when I plug them in, automatically the headphones have sound again. Now, in our company, in all the meeting rooms, we have big screens, which are normal TV screens with Apple TV plugged in. So when I then use the Wi-Fi to plug my presentation on the screen, the audio of the television automatically starts playing whatever music is running in the background.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, you probably want to continue on this device, don't you?
Yes, and so in more than one meeting, colleagues who have frequent meetings with me are already used to the fact that when I start a presentation, the first thing is like some mostly crappy music suddenly playing in the meeting room.
Yeah, for my cringe, I have a three-way tie, but none of this is cringe that was caused by me. Because I am a walking cringe compilation, so I can't list my problems. Most of them are me telling really bad jokes in my usual sardonic tone, so people don't know if I'm joking or not. So everyone thinks I just have a tone problem. One of them was back when I was a youngin'. They were having this assembly about drunk driving. And what they used as the visual aid during this was Simple Plan's "How Could This Happen to Me" music video, because it's about drunk driving.
Oh no.
And the thing is, I'm sitting here like,
how could this happen to me?
I was sitting there like, I am 12 years old at this point. I know this is cringe, and I don't think I knew the definition of the word, but I think what makes it more cringy in hindsight is looking around, and some of my friends are crying at the visuals, and I'm like, why is this touching you? These are the people that sings the What's New Scooby-Doo theme song. But the other two cringe moments, one was at a con, and it was BabsCon actually. And this person came up to my table and gave me like this cupcake and flowers, and they were like, hey, I'm a huge fan of you, I hope you like this, I hope I picked the right flowers. And I was like, oh, this is so sweet. And he's like, oh yeah, you know, this was before I made my Discord, by the by, so this is the first. Yeah, I saw on your Discord about this, and I was like, wait, what? You're KP, right?
Oh no.
If anyone's seen what Rachel looks like in real life, me and her look nothing alike.
Oh no.
And I'm sitting here, and keep in mind, I'm right behind my own merchandise. Me and Rachel separated our stuff. And I'm just kind of like, no, I'm Keyframe.
That's
Cue him looking up at my plushie that's looking down at everyone that's walking by. And then he looks back at me and he's like, can you give this to KP? And I'm like, sure. You want to check?
Boy.
And you want to?
That poor sweet boy.
Yeah, but I'm like, you want to look at some of my stuff? No.
No.
Bye. And I was like,
well, no, because if he fully answered what was going through his head, it's like, no, I don't. I'd rather just crawl in a hole and die right now.
Yeah, so that was that. And then the final cringe moment, which this is a cringy, funny moment, courtesy of our resident Golden Fox. I tried to teach Golden Fox what dabbing was, you know, the dance move and the meme. And I was like, hey, let me record you doing a dab so it could be a golden dab. He thinks it's a smart idea to spin barefoot before doing it. So he spins, falls on the ground while dabbing. No. It's somewhere on my Twitter, you can find it. The cringy part that came from me was that it accidentally did not record the right way, but I didn't care enough to change the orientation. But, oh wait, I thought of something that's cringy that came from me, but I'm personally proud of this.
All right, do it.
We have, I can play music really loud on my phone, and we have Alexa, and we have a computer in the living room and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I do nothing but play songs that piss people off in the house. And I have this like made for people for Golden. It's the only Pokemon fans would know the Ballora song from one of the Pikachu shorts, which is just like blossom, blossom, for 2 minutes straight. And then for DeWilsonator, when he used to live with us, I would play nothing but a compilation of Jack's, a 10-hour thing of Jack's films singing Me Me Big Boy. Because he did an entire episode of Yai where he sings the Yai theme, replacing all the words with Me Me Big Boy, and someone made a 10-hour version of it. So one day I just went into the living room, pressed play, and turned it up to 60 and walked back into my room.
I do love the 10-hour versions of things because there's no reason except I'm going to play this and see how long it takes for everybody to get so sick of it somebody breaks something.
Yes, but so those are my cringe moments. I think we have time for one more.
Those are awesome.
Yeah.
Those are awesome.
This question comes from Katrina Jones. How did you get Bill Newton to appear on this podcast? Oh boy, I have a story. Bill.
Yeah?
So we tried to organize this like last month, and I was like, hey,
yeah,
you can come during June because he's been busy with cons. And he's like, sure, just remind me sooner. Cool. Friday, waiting for a response, being like, hey, Bill. Bill. Finally responds, and he's like, okay, hey, so what's the time for this again? Okay.
To be fair, when you messaged, it was 5 a.m. here.
I know, time zones are not my strong suit.
I was going to say time zone like Friday night you did, and I woke up to it, and I was like, wait, what?
But, and then he was like, I was like, okay, you got your webcam. Wait, this is a video podcast?
Yeah, now that I didn't know. And I'm feeling shy at the moment.
I know, but it was just this calamity of things. But it turned out well. But I have to say, Bill, dealing with all the nonsense and you being like, oh, is that cool? And I'm sitting here with Max, and Max is like, okay, how do I format this for Discord? Oh, he doesn't have a webcam? Great. I have to say, being the mediator between all that, I felt a bit, what's the word for it?
Awkward?
Yeah.
Verklempt?
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The meme has seen on this live stream and talk about random crap. It's time for awkward cast. Random guests and funny gags. It's the awkward cast. Artists and analysis. You do not want to miss the awkward cast.